Hello, Ricky.
Yes, sir.
All right. I just want to go ahead and thank you for giving me a call this Friday evening. How's your day going so far today?
Oh, fantastic. Uh, End of a work week for me, but it's going good, my man.
All right. That's always good. Um, I know you've mentioned this to me before, but when is it that you're going to be going to when are you going to be up
This
going to
call
the
and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
when are you going to be going to the parole board?
I believe June or July of next year of 2024.
And would this be the first time that you're going to be in front of the board?
It'd be my third time.
And what was your experiences the previous two times that you went to the parole board?
Yeah, there. The first time I went to board, it was very confrontational, uh, and from what I understand, every hold on one second. They're yelling some stuff on the speaker.
Yeah, yeah, I could hear that.
Can you hear them?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I definitely can.
Okay, so the first board was pretty confrontational with the commissioner. It was my first time, and I haven't been a I haven't been the best prisoner in prison. I've gotten a lot of trouble in prison, and because of that, my board hearing was pretty confrontational with the commissioner. It was I like to equate it with having a conversation with Judge Judy. I don't know if you ever seen Judge Judy on TV, but she's pretty confrontational, very condescending, and that's how it was with that panel that I had, which was, you know, I guess for my first hearing and being a problematic inmate at the time, I understand it. I don't agree with the condescending attitude that you get at your first hearing, but it is what it is. But the second hearing that I had, it was real professional. The commissioner I had, I believe, was an ex-judge, and he ran a very good hearing. Uh, it was a lot better for me in my experience. I was able to really get into answering the questions that he had for me because there wasn't much of a confrontation. It was more of a conversation. And when you have a conversation with somebody, it's easy to access, you know, all your information that you have and you want to convey to the panel. So my second hearing was much different. It was like a night and day, and but each hearing is challenging in itself because it requires it requires a lot of you. It requires you taking responsibility. It requires you to show your remorse for your victims. It requires you to articulate your knowledge of the impact and magnitude of your crime, and also the positive factors of why you committed your crime. In that, you also have to, in that you have to show who you are today compared to who you were when you committed your crime. So, who was I then and who I am now? You kind of got to get that across as you're talking to the panel, and you also can't have any mistakes in talking. And just like any conversation, you could stumble over your words, you could forget information, or you may say the wrong thing accidentally. You can't have any of those things during a board hearing because that'd be held against you. So you got to really come across very clear, very concise. Uh, you have to articulate, all your answers in a very, educated way. You can't come across as somebody that's uneducated, unrehabilitated, or any of those things. So, it's very challenging for a lot of people, especially if you don't if you're not good in that kind of setting with authority figures, because they will challenge you. And these people, these commissioners are ex-judges, ex-DAs, ex-psychologists, ex-attorneys, ex-correctional officers, ex-law enforcement, and all of these people have been to college with college degrees. So it's no walk in the park when you're talking to them. Like, you really got to know your stuff.
Let me ask you, what do you think is the difference between, or what changed between within the board the first time that you went to the parole board and the second time? And before you answer that, I actually have El Iceman is in here, and he put, yeah, finally I've been waiting all week, or I've been waiting for a show all week. It's great to hear Ricky. And then he also put, I hope he is doing well. And then third message he put is, keep your head up, Ricky. I missed the beginning of the show. Did you go? Did you go to the board? No. So we just started a few minutes ago. We haven't been on more than we just hit the 7-minute mark. So you haven't really missed anything. And if you want to go ahead and answer the last part of that question there.
Say it again. What was the last part?
So he wants to know if you went to the parole board recently.
Oh yeah, I went in February of this year, and I got a 3-year denial, and I was denied because the commissioner determined during our hearing that he found vestiges of criminal mindset still present, and he said that he based that decision on confidential information that was received in the year of 2018, which was 5 years ago. So, and he said that my moderate psych eval wasn't supportive of a release at that time. So that was the two reasons why I was found unsuitable for parole.
And with that denial, do you have to wait the full 3 years, or can you appeal it, or after a certain amount of time do you get to go back early?
Well, you can appeal it if you want. I chose not to, but you get an automatic review every 11 months. So come January, I'll get an automatic review, and as long as I don't have any write-ups or any bad conduct or anything of that nature, they'll set a board date for me, and then I'll go back to board about 6 months following the January. So that's why I say I'll go back probably July or August of next year.
And within these 11 months, or by the time you go back to the board, within those 11 months, what have you done to I guess improve or do whatever the parole board wants you to do to be found suitable?
So typically what the parole board does is if there's anything that they want you to address, they'll stipulate it. They'll say, we want you to continue going to NA. We want you to go to AA. We want you to continue going to classes such as Criminal Gangs Anonymous. They'll kind of lay it out like that. If you don't have your GED, they'll tell you to focus on your education. If you have your GED, they'll tell you to get involved in college or get you a vocation so you can get gainful employment once you're released, things of that nature. So for me, the commissioner told me that he told me that I was on the right path, and that he wanted me to continue doing what I was doing. And I've already got a vocation. I'm currently in a vocation right now, and I'm in college as well. And I also facilitate self-help groups here on the yard, and I also participate in some of them. I also I do self-help groups through the mail, where you earn certificates, things of that nature. And I also I board prep other prisoners. I'll do one-on-one board preps with guys going to board and prepare them for board and kind of teach them what I know. I've been twice. Although I've been denied twice, I've been a student of board hearings, and I've kind of figured out a few things that people need to know. And what I personally try to do is create a foundation for everybody going to board, so they have something to start from. And there is a foundation to every board hearing. And what I mean about a foundation is there's things that you must know about board. And there's going to be 5 questions that you're going to be asked.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You have to know what those questions are, and not only what they are, but what each question asks you. So I try to prep these guys like Gary. I've spoken to Gary a few times, trying to help him, give him insight into his hearings. But there's a couple other guys since I've been here in Centinela I've helped prepare for board too. But that's the things that the commissioner told me to do, was basically continue doing what I'm doing, and I've been on that same path since. So I'm hoping for a better result next time.
Yeah, hopefully you're able to pretty much win your freedom and come out into society and show everybody that you're truly a changed man.
Yeah, one of the things about I talk to a lot of guys.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Boards should be challenging. It shouldn't be easy, because the panel, the Board of Prison Term commissioners, they're the gatekeepers to society. They're there to keep society safe, and they're the professionals who determine if you've changed or if you haven't changed. And they gotta make that decision in a 2 or 3 hour hearing. That's hard to do, but they have to do that, and it's a hard job. So every board hearing should be challenging, and it should challenge you, and intellectually. It should challenge you in every way, so they can make the right decision and making sure everyone's safe if they do find you suitable, because no one wants the monster getting out of prison and creating more victims, right?
Absolutely not.
It's an important job that they.
All right, so we just hit the 15-minute mark. Give me one moment. Let me see here.
Gary. An inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
This call is now being recorded.
Hang up now or stay on the line for additional options. To hear the billing rates for this call, say or dial 9.
Hello?
Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, Gary? Gary?
Hello?
Hello. Oh.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Give me one moment. Okay, hold on.
This call is now being recorded.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Ricky Black.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hey, Ricky. Gary just called me right now. Would you mind, taking control right now for a few moments while I speak to Gary, and then when I come back in, I'll let you know when I'm done.
Okay, you want me to finish up answering my question?
Yeah, and you could go ahead and speak about whatever you have on your mind or whatnot, and then we will continue once I'm done speaking to Gary.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So,
thank you.
All right, I got you. So one of the things that I was talking about was going to board, that it should be challenging for most guys that go to board, because the commissioners or they're the gatekeepers to society. And it, as important a job that is, it's important that those of us that are going to board, we have to show who we are today compared to, the criminal that we were in the past. And it's really, it's really easy to go in there and try to manipulate your way through that situation and that process and get out of prison and reoffend. So for those of us that have to go, it's important that we do make the necessary changes in our life. So if we're found suitable, we don't go out there and reoffend. But one of the big things about that is that there's other lifers that are trying to get out and go home as well. And say I'm not reformed or I'm not rehabilitated, but I'm somehow able to get found suitable for board or for the streets, and I'm let out and I go out there and reoffend. What happens is all of these laws that have been created, like Prop 57, Prop 47, Prop 36, things of like that, it will shine a bad light on those propositions that are helping us get out of prison sooner. And what it do is for the other lifers that are trying to go home, other propositions will pop up, get voted back in to keep lifers locked in prison longer than it's necessary. And one of the things in California, the lifers for a long time weren't found suitable for parole. So say a guy doing 15 to life eventually does 30 or 40 years on that life sentence because they can't be trusted to get out of prison and do the right thing and be responsible. So.
All right, Ricky, Gary, are you there?
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Gary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
All right.
I can hear you guys.
Perfect. All right, guys. So we're gonna be doing a prison panel. We got Ricky and Gary on the line. Hopefully the sound is sounds clear.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Hopefully everybody could hear clearly. If you can't hear clearly, like one of us, let me know so I could adjust the audio. This would be the first time that I would be going on air with a conversation like this. So any feedback that you guys got would be greatly appreciated. And right now, since we were on the topic about the parole board, and I know recently Gary went to the parole board. Would you like to share with us how that went and what the outcome of your parole board hearing was, and what would somebody expect during a parole board? Like, what kind of questions do they ask you? What did you do to prepare for your parole board hearing?
Well, I went on Wednesday. I went to the parole board on Wednesday, and as Ricky knows my situation, and I've been preparing it with Ricky. He gave me a lot of sound advice. We had a lot of conversations. So going in there, I was prepared because I already knew that they wanted to talk about one thing, and that in true to form, that's what we talked about. was my involvement in EDD fraud about 3 years ago with my family members, and I went in there and I answered everything truthfully to the best of my knowledge. I pinpointed why I did it, with whom I did it, what I was thinking, what I was feeling, everything, but for some reason, they still felt like I was an unreasonable risk to society still, and they gave me a 3-year denial. And it was crazy because going in there, I had the same commissioner who found me suitable in 21. So right off the bat, he was like, I'm upset with you, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm upset with myself. I mean, excuse my language, Commissioner, but I've been kicking myself in the ass every day since this happened, And he told me, you know what? I'm not going to berate you. I'm not going to point the finger at you. I'm not going to make you feel bad because I'm pretty sure you feel bad as it is. And we're just going to have a conversation about the elephant in the room. And the elephant was, my involvement with this fraud. And that's all we talked about for over an hour and a half. I thought going in that I was going to be nervous like I was the previous 3 times I went, but I did the work. I did the work. I gave it some serious thought. I've been taking this time seriously these past 18 months. So I just went in there and have a conversation. And I was upfront and honest about everything that happened. I took full responsibility for everything I did and my part played in it. And they gave me a 3-year denial, bro. They gave me a 3-year denial. I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't feel a certain way, man. Yeah, I felt something, man. It was tugging on me, like, man. I was upset. I was angry. I was frustrated. I was all these things. All these things going through my head. All these emotions that I was feeling, and it's just like, man, it's like, And then what the commissioner was saying, and he was just like, he told me, I know you're not going to go back out there and use drugs again. I know that. I know you're not going to go to the yard and get into a fight or get involved in any gang activity. I know that.
This
I know
call
if I let
and
you
your
out,
telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I know if I let you out, you're not going to commit this heinous crime again. And he's telling me this, and I'm like, well, damn, like, if you're saying all this, like, why ain't you finding me suitable, And he was just like, you know what? I just need some distance. I need a little distance from this, what you did with your family, and I need a little distance. So, he's like, I have no doubt if you continue on this path that you've been on, because obviously you've been on this path, ain't nothing changed since I found you suitable. You're still doing the right thing, but it's just too recent. I need distance. So, no doubt in 18 months, when you come back in front of me, you'll be found suitable. But it's just frustrating, like, man, it's just frustrating.
No, man, I'll be frustrated too.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is
Okay.
Ricky still on the line?
Yeah, he should be. Ricky?
Yes.
All right, Ricky.
Yes.
Let me ask you something, Ricky. So, what's the when you hear something like that, obviously, at one point Gary was found suitable, and he lost his suitability, and then he went back to board now, and now they're telling him that he's not suitable. How does that affect everybody? How does that make you feel? When you hear like one of your one of your buddies in prison, it's gets denied.
Very empathetic towards Gary and his situation. He's definitely one of my guys. Definitely one of the guys in our circle. Definitely one of the guys that we call on in our groups to share his story with other lifers, especially the EDD fraud. A lot of people think that it's okay to do it, especially lifers, because we don't have any money in here, and you're trying to make it. You're trying to survive in here just like everybody's trying to survive out there, and you think you're never going to get out of prison. And you make a decision like that, and then it comes back and it bites you in the butt, and you got to suffer the consequences of it. And a lot of lifers don't think of the long-term impact of their decisions, especially in a situation like this. But this is something that happened to Gary, and it's very unfortunate. And I've had discussions with him on this. In fact, we all discuss it in our circle now, that this is something that's investigated once we're found suitable, to make sure that there's no EDD fraud in our past. Because if there is, and we didn't talk about it, we're going to be held accountable for it, and then there's going to be consequences, to that if we're found that we did, do some EDD fraud. So I'm very empathetic to Gary and his family, especially the Lifer Circle, because I take our circle very serious. I really, do my best to share my knowledge with everybody in our circle and help them out in preparing for board. So to see one of our friends go to board and not get a date, it's hard for all of us.
Yeah, man. I just hearing that, I remember I was speaking to Gary about that situation, and prior to me speaking to him, I wasn't aware, that had happened to him at the parole board. And after a few conversations, he mentioned it to me, and I was like, wow, like that's
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
that's devastating, like that. I mean, after being incarcerated for such a long time, and then something like that gets in your way, like I can't even describe. I couldn't even put it in words, how I would feel if I was in that type of situation. But all you could do, I mean, unfortunately, all you could do here is move forward. You can't, I mean, you can't cry over spilled milk. What's done is done, and you just got to move on, and don't.
No, so exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with you, because they did on Wednesday. They did ask me a question. They were like, "You're not mad? You're not angry?" And I was like, "At whom? Like, who am I supposed to be mad or angry at?" They're like, "Your family for presenting this idea to you." And I said, "You know what, commissioners? At the end of the day, it's not conducive to my recovery to be resentful, to be angry, to be upset at anybody, because it was my choice to go along with this. Ultimately, I made that decision to go along with this. So the only one that I'm angry at is myself." But they were like, "But yeah, I get it though. But your family was presented this to you, and they were coaxing you along and just kept on asking you, like, what's up? You'll help us out. And I said, "Yeah, I know, but like I said, at the end of the day, it was my choice to go along with this, so I can't be angry at them. I'm not upset with nobody but myself here, And hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. I just got to because I've been working on that, like the influence that my family did have over me all these years. So I've been cutting ties with a lot of people in my family, just distancing myself from them, and right now, just where I want to go and where I want to stay, it's just like you and me talking. It's not good. It's not good for me, and so
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And I think that's,
and the one thing they were focused on was like, "Oh, your mom, what are you gonna do with that?" And I was brutally honest, like, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I could cut all ties with my mom and stop talking to her. She's my mom, I already lost one parent, and for me to, God forbid, if I stop talking to her and anything happens, that's just going to be another regret that I have in my life, like, but I got many regrets, and, I don't want that to be a regret, and I try to tell them, like, I'm making better choices concerning her. I'm making better decisions. I made it known, I made it known from a while ago that I can't allow their problems to become my problems. I just can't do it. Whatever they're going through, that's their lives,
Yeah.
You have
Okay.
60 seconds remaining.
So I think the first 60 seconds was was Gary's. I think
Okay,
your call's about
I'm gonna call back. That was mine.
Okay, yeah, yeah. All right. And Ricky, are you still there, Ricky?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think I got to call you. I think I got to call you back too.
yeah, you know what? Just give me like a few moments so we could kind of like stagger out the calls, and like that. I'm not
Yeah.
scrambling around like a chicken without a head trying to connect all these calls. But
I think like in Gary's.
Go ahead.
Eh,
Yeah.
and I think in Gary's situation, like what he was saying was, you know, in our recovery circle, you know, we have.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And it's almost, we got to be responsible about the decisions we make, no matter who our.
All right. So right now today we're actually trying something new. Right now, I'm pretty much having both of these guys call me up to different phone numbers and pretty much doing like a speaker, putting them on speakerphone, and so we could all, you know, just pretty much like conversate instead of it just being one-on-one. Right now we're doing a pretty much like a 3-person panel. Just wanted to try something new. You know, with this YouTube thing, you know, trying to evolve and bring a different bring something different to the table. You know, instead of, you know, having the same old like format and ideas, trying something totally different. As far as the audio, I'm using a different mic than I usually use. So if my audio's off or if I sound too low, let me know. Right now, pretty much I just like Mickey Mouse this whole setup I got. I've been testing it out for the last few days, so that's why I haven't been going live. I've been tweaking it and trying to like figure it out and making sure that like the audio wasn't either too low or too loud. And today I was feeling a bit confident and it was sounding really clear. So that's why we went ahead and we went live, and that was a test run. Nobody's calling me back, so I'm hoping the CDC doesn't have a problem with it. So we'll continue waiting, and hopefully somebody calls us back shortly. But yeah, whoever's listening out there, you know, Gary recently went to the parole board on Wednesday, and obviously he didn't get any good news. He got a 3-year denial. I think within 11 months he possibly, hold on, I'm getting a call right now. I'm picking it up. Let me see here.
You have a prepaid call from.
Give me a moment.
This call is now being recorded.
An inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, Gary. Give me one moment. Let me plug you in. Give me one moment. All right, Gary, you're on. The listeners could hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that.
So right now it's just me and you. Right now, Ricky still hasn't called back yet, so we're just waiting on Ricky. But you know, you could go ahead and continue with your message. I know you were cut off in the middle of speaking.
Oh, no, this is, you know, just like I was talking about earlier. Those are the things I'm just working on. You know, my family, you know, they had a lot of influence over me for a long time, you know, and especially in a negative way. You know, I didn't realize it then because, you know, you grow up, you normalize it. You know, oh, this is the family. You know, I mean, you got to be there for them, blood thicker than water. You know, the whole nine. Just that whole belief that I was raised with. You know, and you know,
Hey.
I really, you know,
Gary, give me one call. I'm getting another call. Give me one moment.
I got you.
This call is now being
This
recorded.
is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Ricky Black.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, so we're all three on right now. Can everybody hear
Hello?
each other? Hello.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Hello.
Yeah. So who wants to continue?
Go ahead.
Just,
Go ahead, Gary.
just like I was saying, you know, doing that. When I could 3 years ago when I was presented with that with my family, and it was the height of the COVID. I'm not gonna blame the COVID, but there was a lot of fear going around. There was a lot of worry and stress and anxiety. What if and when it was presented to me and how it was stated, you're gonna help out the family, I didn't agree to it right away. I said no for about a month and a half, for about 6 weeks. I was like, nah. I don't want to do it. I don't want to mess up my parole hearing. But finally, I relented. Because it's family after all. It's family. Every time that they came and they asked me for help, there, no questions asked. It was like I was coming to their rescue, coming to their aid, so to speak. And I figured, I'm not receiving none of the money. They're gonna keep it all. I'm not actually doing the crime. They're doing it. I'm just giving them the go ahead. Yes, go ahead and do it. They already had my name and my social and all that, and but man, I come to realize that my guilt is no less than their guilt. I conspired with them, and I contributed to it, and it's hurtful. It's devastating that my date got pulled. It's rightfully deserved because there was two areas in my life that I failed to see, or deep down I didn't want to see, because who looks at family like that? Who has to really dig deep and look at family like that, and start to end relationships and distance yourself and all that, But I'm glad I did, because after doing all that, it's made me a better person today than who I was when I was found suitable. I think I'm better off today than when I was in 21. And I'm better for it. And my life is better for it. Everything in it's better for it. And it's tough. I was devastated when they took my date away. It felt like somebody just pulled the rug right from underneath me, and I just fell into like a bottomless pit, and I just kept on falling and falling and falling and falling. And I was devastated. I was heartbroken. I was stressed out. But during all that, during all this, right? During all this, I didn't think about using drugs. Like drugs are like the farthest thing from my mind. So I'm proud of myself. I stayed with my faith. I stayed with my change. I stayed with my recovery. I didn't throw in the towel. I didn't give up. I didn't say, what, fuck this, and man, I'm done. Nah, man, I kept at it. I saw that there was something that needed to be fixed, and I corrected it. I saw that I needed to work on myself, and I've done it, and I'm doing it, and I will continue to do it throughout my life. I know this. This is who I am now. This is a part of me. This is who I am. And I'm just taking it day by day. Did I have hopes going in on Wednesday to get my date back? Absolutely, I did. Absolutely, my hopes were high. But I told myself, I said, you know what? I made a commitment to myself, and I made a promise to myself 18 months ago. I said, look, if I ever get the opportunity to go in front of the board members again, I'm going to answer their questions truthfully, to the best of my knowledge, and I'm going to take responsibility, and I'm going to hold myself accountable. So I did that on Wednesday. So even though I didn't get granted parole, I walked away with a clear heart, clear mind. Clear heart, clear mind. I walked away with that, and I'm happy with myself.
All right. And let me ask you, Ricky, in a case like this, where one of your fellow buddies, gets denied, how do you what do you think should be his next move? So the board will find him suitable. Like what can he do?
Well, for Gary, it's continuing doing what he's doing now, and that's focusing on his recovery. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's been doing since his last denial, is focusing on his recovery. And here's the thing. Even though he was denied, and he was denied essentially when he got his date took last time. One of the things about change, one of the things about recovery is we're actually prepared for failure. We're already prepared for when we fall down. We already know how to pick ourselves up and continue on the path that we're on. And that's what Gary has done. Even though as heartbreaking as his situation is, and as heartbreaking as it was to get his date taken from him, he hasn't wavered at all, and that's because he's serious about his recovery. And that's one of the most heartbreaking things for our lifer circle. When we see when one of us fail to get our date, we feel the impact within our circle.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We know who's genuine in their recovery, and we know who's not genuine in their recovery. And Gary's definitely one of the ones that is genuine in his recovery. So we felt a lot of.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
He's on track, and even though he got denied, he's going to continue doing the things that he's supposed to do to be found suitable. And there's no doubt about it. Next time he goes to board, he will be found suitable again.
Absolutely, and maybe either of you could answer this next question. How often do you see somebody get denied gets denied to and does not get suitable to be paroled, and they kind of fall back into their old ways? Does that happen often, or how often do you see something like that, or do you have any recollection of something like that happening?
I met two guys. And I met two guys who were found suitable, and then they got their date took, and they went back to using drugs, getting in trouble, and you know what I mean. And I had conversations with those guys, and it's devastating to see that how far they came, and then they got their date took, and they just went right back to using drugs, getting in trouble, getting into fights. You know, it happens. You know, it's real. That happens.
And do you think the support system there that they offer, is that one of the major deterrents that kind of helps you stay on the straight and narrow and continue on your positive path there?
Oh, that's what helped me out. The support network that I built around me, like guys like Ricky and Jesse and Silas, like they have helped me out tremendously. Even though we don't say it much, man, Ricky has helped me out a lot since the first day that I met that brother. You know what I mean? He's giving me things to think about. I mean, he's giving me things to use in my own recovery, in my own change. It's the things he talks about is so powerful. Every time I'm with Ricky and we're in a group, I learn something from that brother. Every time he says something that's very impactful to me, and I appreciate that so very much. And I express this to him as well. You know, but when you got to have that support network, you got to build that group of guys around you, because when my date got took, I was fortunate to have that support network around me. The guys were with me so there'd be days where we just sat there on the yard, just not saying nothing. And we just sat there, but knowing that they were there, knowing that we were there with each other, it was comforting. You know what I mean? It was comforting, it was uplifting, it was encouraging, and it was very positive.
All right, and thank you for that, Gary. I'm gonna go ahead and read off some of the comments here, because there's a lot of comments here supporting you. So the first comment I want to read off to you is going to be from El Iceman, and he says, "Oh, this is awesome audio, great so far." And then he put, "Sorry to hear that, Gary. Keep your head up." And then we have Mad Max 408. He's put saludos, tapping in to show support. My lady at M-Star Media, and they're both listening. And then let me see, what else do we have here. M-Star, she's sending a salute to you guys. And then she also puts M-Star. She puts, "I'm sorry to hear your parole. I'm so sorry your parole, Gary. It didn't go well." And then Mad Max also put, "I'm truly sorry, Gary. You're handling it well, though." And then let me see, what else do I have. And then we also have LA Analyst. Really appreciate the support from all you guys. And she puts, Hey Gary, I'm sorry to hear what has occurred, but kudos to staying positive and staying clean. And then let me see what else I have here. And then
Thank
Matt,
you.
yeah,
I thank you. I really do appreciate that.
and Mad Max 408 put don't deviate from what he's been doing. When he goes back. When he goes back to board, he can bring them 3 more years of good time, showing them that this didn't affect him negatively. So overall, it
Absolutely.
seems like everybody, they're definitely supporting, the path you're on, and it's really positive.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know? I feel it. I'm not gonna lie. I feel it. I feel the anger. I feel the hurt. I feel the pain. But I mean, I mean, what's that going to bring? What's that going to bring? What's drugs? What's drugs? Drugs ain't going to fix this. Me getting angry and acting out violently, it ain't going to fix this. The only, the only thing, the only person that can continue is me. Brother Ricky talked about values about a couple weeks ago in class. Like, well, what do you value? When he said that, it was very powerful. I value me. I value me. I value my freedom. And when the brother Ricky spoke about that, man, it just struck a chord with me. Like, that's what I value, and I know for me to achieve my freedom, I know that I have to continue on my walk. This is my way of life now. This is not just until I get out, till I come home. This is who I am now. This is me. I love me. I'm at peace with me.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And I'm grateful. I thank God every day. Like, thank you, God. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to heal. To move forward the right way. I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Man, yeah, I like your attitude. I definitely like your attitude, Gary, and the way you're handling all this, because at the end of the day, this is the attitude that's gonna get you paroled. If you think anything differently,
Oh, absolutely.
it's not gonna help you. So yeah, my hats off to you. Kudos,
No.
like LA analyst said, just keep on this, and eventually they can't keep denying you. They have to let you go home.
Exactly. Exactly. You know. It's like, you got to, keep on fighting the good fight. You got to keep on running the race, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. I know that your call's about to cut off right now. Do you want to go ahead and give us a call back, and I'll go ahead and oh, there it is. It was cut off. All right, so it's just me and you, Ricky, right now.
Okay.
And how do you feel about like
Okay.
this new this new way that we could have these like we could have a third person in here. How do you feel about it? More and more we could have more different different opinions and whatnot. We could I think I like when I thought about it, I thought it was a really good idea. What's your take on this whole setup we got going now?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I haven't had a chance to talk to Gary in a few days, so hearing
You have 60 seconds remaining.
is I've been waiting to talk to him. So hearing him talk and yeah, because I haven't been able to see him is cool. But yeah, I like it. I don't mind personally. It gives me more to think about, more to talk about, more to share. So I think it's pretty cool.
And I'm looking to. I just ordered a new piece off of eBay, where we can possibly get a third person, so we could have a total of 4 people, maybe like on a panel and whatnot, and we could conversate. Um, well, at least that's the way it's playing out in my head. So once I get that new piece, this upcoming week, I'm gonna test it out,
This
and
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
hopefully we can bring another person on, and
Yeah.
hopefully it works out well. Right now, when you call me back, there is we do have some more some questions and some more comments. So, oh, there it is. I'm reading your questions, guys. Right now, when they call back, I'll go ahead and read them off to them. And there's somebody should be calling me back shortly. So as soon as they do, um, I'll go ahead and start reading these off. Yeah, I think the last question that I didn't read off, or the other comment, would be by Mad Max 408. and then I'll continue over to LA analyst. And then I do see your question, Elias man. So I'll go ahead and ask him that most definitely once they come. When they call me back, I'm trying to read these messages and. All right, cool. So I see there's 8 people in here. I really appreciate you guys tapping in and listening to these conversations here. And I'm gonna go ahead and connect this call right now.
This call is now being recorded.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Ricky Black.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right. Thank you for calling back, Ricky. We're just waiting for a call from Gary so he could tune in. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see the comments here, and everybody's commenting on the audio, how good it sounds. Don't tell nobody. They might come ask me more questions about this audio. I can't provide that information. Oh man.
No, it's confidential. It's confidential.
Highly confidential.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the interesting things that Gary said was values. What does he value? You remember when he was talking about that?
Yeah, I do.
That was one of the things that I was sharing in our last class. Because one of the things that you could tell what people value by what they do every day. And it's one of the things that I learned in my own recovery was personal value. Like, what's your top 3 things that you value? And then you could see, when you ask each individual what they value, give me your top 3. And then you'll see what they say, and like especially in here, see what their top 3 is, and then you can look at the program, what they do and how they do their time, and see if they're actually putting what they value, in front of maybe something that they shouldn't be doing. They're actually living that value every single day.
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna bring. Hello, Gary. Give me one moment. Let me tap you in right now. All right, Gary.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Perfect. All right. So we're all 3 here. I didn't mean to cut you off. Ricky, do you want to go ahead and continue?
So, one of the things about values is, does your actions show that you value yourself, your freedom, and your family? And it's one of the questions that I like to ask in our groups when I facilitate them is, what do you value? And is if your actions actually say that about you. So it's a pretty good, it's a pretty good gauge on where somebody's at in their own recovery. But it'd be interesting to hear what people value on the streets. Do you value your family? Do you value yourself? Do you value God? Do you value your freedom? And what is it that you're doing every day that show that is exactly what you value? So saying that to people that's locked up and been locked up a long time, it's hard to really, it's easy to say that I value my family, but is your actions actually showing that and what you're doing every day in prison? And a lot of times it doesn't add up. You could see that people are still getting in trouble and acting like a immature kid, and you could see, well, you actually ain't valuing your family because you're still getting in trouble. You're still getting high. You're still doing, negative things. So you could see, once you show them that, they could say, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I don't value my freedom or my family like I say, because your actions should actually show that. So it's cool to hear Gary say that.
And yeah, you know what?
So I
Go ahead, Gary. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and no, I absolutely. You know, what I mean, what Ricky is saying is the truth. You know, everything he's saying is absolutely, man, right.
Yeah, and I want to go ahead and comment on what Ricky said about like posing that question to everybody that's listening in, even myself. What do you value? And to be honest with you, that's not something that I really think about too often. But right now that you brought that to the table.
You're like
Yeah.
real low right now.
Can you hear me? What about now? Hello.
Better? Better?
Okay. All right. All right. I
Yeah.
think I had the mic in the
Yeah.
wrong direction.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
But right now, when you ask that question, what do you value? And I was thinking about it, like, yeah, no, I definitely I value my family here, that's in my household, my wife, my kids, and definitely 100% my freedom. Because I mean, I wouldn't like right now at this point in my life, I would not want to give one day
This
to
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I wouldn't want to give away one day or a year or a month to either the county or the state right now at this point in my life. Something like that in my life would be devastating. So I definitely um, cherish my freedom.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You'll hear you'll hear a lot of people when you ask them that question, they'll leave themselves out. They won't say themselves. They'll say God, family, and maybe their freedom or something, and rarely do they say themselves. But truth be told, you have to put yourself first in your value system, because if you don't value yourself, you can't value somebody else. That's the way it works. You can't be third on the list. You can't be fourth on the list. You got to really value you so you can value everyone else. And so it's always interesting to see when people talk about values where they put themselves at in that, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Like, where do you value yourself at? Because it's like if you're not helping yourself, you can't help your family. If you don't value yourself, then you can't value somebody else. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's interesting to hear when people talk about value where they put themselves at.
that's a good point. I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board on that, and thank you for pointing that out, Ricky.
Extra digits violation.
Oh no! What? Two-digit violation. They ended up cutting off one of the calls. For some reason, they said that was
Gary?
yeah. Um, man, I had some questions. I had a comment right here from from Mad Max. He had a positive comment right now. So if Gary is able to tune back in, coming back, then I'll go ahead and read that off right now. But overall, from the comments in here, like a lot of people are really supporting him, and really really positive, and that's ultimately um, like the goal of this channel or podcast is to offer some type of positivity, something different. We definitely want to bring something different to the table, and hopefully, it gets people thinking. If you're there, whether you're young or old, wherever whatever part of life you're in, it's never too late to change and try something new or turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I know there's a lot of big changes here in CDC and our rehabilitation, and a lot of people are going home, getting milestone credits and going home early to be with their family, which is cool to see. I've been doing time in prison for 30 years, and this is new. All of these milestones and people getting out early. So, for all your listeners that are listening and
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
who are voting for these propositions, for all of those people that are doing that, just know that there's a group of us in here that actually appreciate it, and we are making necessary changes within ourselves and even here in our own small community. So when we do get out, that we're actually productive citizens of society and not leeches and taking advantage of everybody and robbing people or stealing out of their homes or things like that, right? So some of the things that we do in our groups, like that value, question, is, saying that for a lot of the younger guys, so they start understanding, what they need to value and to help them in their own journey of change, so they can get out and actually be a a role model or a productive member in their own community and with their family. So it's important, man, and I know I truly appreciate some of the comments that are coming in, especially for Gary and telling him to stay focused and not give up, because it does get hard when you're denied parole. You think you've changed your life and it's not being they're not seeing it, or you're not being rewarded for your change, and so it gets very hard when you're denied. But with the new laws that everybody are passing, man, it's real helpful for all of us, especially us lifers in here.
You know what? And then I have a question and I have a comment for you. So Iceman put, let me see. Ricky should be a counselor when he gets out. He is very wise. Have you? Is that something you consider being a counselor or some type of mentor when you're eventually granted parole?
Well, the degree that I've been working on is a AA degree in social and behavioral science with the emphasis on alcohol and drug studies. So I could possibly be a drug counselor upon parole. And with that certification, I could get into that kind of field. Still a couple of classes I have to take to get my complete certification, but I'm more than 90% there now. I need 2 more classes, and then 150 hours of practicum hours, which is basically hands-on in like a classroom setting or in a group setting. 150 hours, and then I'll be completely certified as an alcohol and drug counselor.
And then I also have another. Eliasman had a question. He said, "Can you ask him what percentage of guys going to the board get paroled? So basically, out of 10, what number gets to go home?"
So we had 3 people go to board in the last 3 days, and 2 of them got found suitable, and 1 of them got denied on the yard. So one of our friends, Blue, got granted parole. Another guy over there in 1 block with Gary got paroled, and Gary got denied. So that was 2 out of 3 on our yard that got found suitable. But typically, like in a year, in a whole year, CDC paroles about anywhere between 16 to 18% of the people going to board. So, and they typically do, say, 9,000 hearings a year.
Hotel link.
So.
All right.
Hello?
Yeah, I just brought
Yeah.
Gary back in.
Okay.
All right. So I'm not sure what happened there, Gary. GTL is tripping.
Yeah, it does that from time to time.
Okay.
It does that from time to time.
All right. And right now, I was kind of like going through the messages, because there is quite a few messages here. And let me see. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to overlook any messages. But
Oh, absolutely.
the last message that I have here was from Mad Max 408 put, if Gary can show the board that he was able to stay sober and out of trouble after getting denied, it could help show them how serious he is about his sobriety and wanting to change his life. And then LA Analyst put, knowing that your family has affected your time, what are their thoughts? Any apologies?
As of today, absolutely not. None.
Okay.
None.
All right. And then let me see. And then I think this is one of your family members. He said, "I'm sorry, my little brother. I cried when my mom told me I was angry, but then I cooled down and said the fight ain't over, my boy. We're still striving. Love you, your big brother.
Yeah, that's my brother right there.
All right,
That's my brother.
definitely. Hopefully he's still
Yeah.
in here
You have 60 seconds
and
remaining.
he was able to listen to that comment there. And then Ricky's call is about to be coming to an end. I mean, and
Yeah.
you're gonna be calling back, right? As soon as it gets cut off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we'll definitely be waiting for you. There might be a little bit of silence. Gary, I'm gonna put you on mute because I don't want them to say that I'm pressing buttons over here. Get the two button rule violation, if you will. And
No, absolutely.
and then
Absolutely.
and then
Absolutely.
I'm just going through the messages right here. So and then let me see what else. Let me see. Let me see. Uh, all right. So yeah, I think that as far as like for like messages for you guys, I think that's it. If I missed something, just go ahead and drop it in the comments, and I'll go ahead and definitely read it off. My apologies. It's just my eyes are over here twitching, trying to squint on this screen right here and to read these messages and whatnot.
No, I get it. I get it. You're juggling a lot right now.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
yeah. Like with this whole phone
You
situation.
know, hey, just thank you again for. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to thank you again for having me on, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you again, man. Just to be able, I've been talking to my family, like my sister, and my cousin. I've been, getting it off my chest, venting, but to come on here and have this outlet as well. I really do appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate it. I just hope that nobody gets discouraged, and nobody gets discouraged with things in life because life happens, man. And I just want people to understand that sometimes we may overlook those toxic relationships within our family, but it's it's best to take a second look at them and to see, how toxic it is, and do these people really, they have your best interest at heart? So, I just want to encourage that, man, and set up those boundaries, man, And I love my family.
Gary, give me
one
one minute. Give me 1 minute, Gary.
I love them. I love them. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
This call is now
This
being
is
recorded.
Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Ricky Black.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right. So, do I have the two fellas right here?
Yeah.
Okay. And my wife just came up to me and cause she's listening in the background. She's a supporter too. Without her, none of this wouldn't be possible. She's always gave me the extra push I need. And she pointed out that I missed a comment from M Star Media, and where is this message at? Give me one more. Oh, and then M Star Media put, I have high hopes for these guys. So, there's people out here, that are definitely rooting for you guys, to come out here and change your lives and show the positivity that you guys are on right now.
What was that? What was that, James?
That they have, M Star Media right here has high hopes for you and for I think everybody that's coming on in this show, they have high hopes. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I'm gonna raise up the volume a little bit. Hopefully that helps out. But yeah, there's a lot of people.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people are rooting for you guys, and they have high hopes. So I'm not sure how that how that makes you guys feel, but me reading something like
Good.
that, yeah, it's kind of like this is what I wanted. I want to put these stories out to the general public or anybody that is interested in listening to the stories, or possibly somebody that could pass this story on to somebody else that's kind of like in the same situation that you guys are currently in. Like these stories, like about going aboard. I don't think I've ever heard online anybody sharing, going aboard, getting found suitable, and then they take your day away because EDD fraud was committed. So hopefully a story like that, or
Yeah,
somebody will hear it and they'll be like, yeah, no, I want nothing to do with that. Like I want to come home. So
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
something positive comes out of the out of you sharing your experience and your story.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Not only EDD fraud, but any type of government fraud. Period. Just stay away, man. Like, you know, I kick like I told the commissioners. I kick myself in the ass every day from doing this. And yeah, man, don't do it. And if you have done it, and you think about going to the board and not taking responsibility and not being truthful, don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go in there, take responsibility, own up to it, and face the music, man. And man up, and just whatever happens, happens. It's not going to define you. It hasn't defined me in my faith, in my change, in my recovery. I'm still pushing. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, I'm better off today for it, by doing that, and I wish I would have done it 2 years ago when I was first confronted with it, but at that point in my life, like me admitting, me coming forward to what I've done, that meant that I had to throw my family under the bus, so to speak, tell on my family. And at that point, I just wasn't ready to accept that yet, but I had to come to terms with that. I had to come to terms with that and say, you know what? I got to go and I got to tell the truth. I got to be truthful. I got to face the music. I got to take responsibility. I got to own up to it and say, you know what? Yeah. I had a role.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yes, I contributed it, and just take full responsibility and hold myself accountable because, at the end of the day, by me not doing that, it was going against everything that I'm striving to be and everything that I've become within my recovery, within my change and my faith and my self-help community. It was like it was going against it, and nah, man, it didn't sit right with me. It was like a black cloud hanging over my head. I didn't have a clear heart. I didn't have a clear mind. But now I do. Like I got it back. Like, oh man, I feel relieved. I went in there and I presented myself, and I did everything right. But they still feel that I need more time, more distance, as they called it. And yeah, man, I'm not gonna give up the fight. I'm gonna keep on pushing. I'm gonna keep on doing what I need to do because I know one day I will be walking out these gates, man. I know that. I believe in that. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. And with the help, like with the help of guys like Ricky and Silas and Jesse and
This call
everybody
and
else
your
amongst our
telephone number
circle,
will be
man.
monitored and recorded.
I appreciate that. What I mean? I'm grateful, and with us, and just keep on building our community and keep on inviting guys in and just planting the seeds. Man, great things are gonna happen, man. Great things are gonna happen because I know a lot of people have the misconception. Oh, he's in prison. Oh, he's a criminal. He's a gang member. He's a drug addict. He's this. He's that. It's all the negative, but there's a lot of positive happening here. There's a community in here, guys who who are doing the right thing, who are bettering themselves, who are changing, and I just want people to understand that the prison, it's not, don't have that misconception that Hollywood paints it. It's a bad, evil place. Nah, man. Yes, we're in prison. Yes, we're paying our debt to society. We're making it right again. But we're also in here, we're bettering ourselves. We're growing. We're doing positive. We're changing our lives. I just want people, to hopefully, understand that.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. Yeah. We're listening right here.
Okay.
Ken.
Okay. Yeah.
Is something
Hello?
going on in the background?
Oh no. I just hear quiet. Is
Oh,
Ricky still with us or he's left?
yeah, no, he should be here. You're here, right,
No,
Ricky?
I'm here.
He's here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No, that's all I had to say right there. You know, that was it. That's all I had to say. Thank you for that. You know.
No, you're definitely welcome. Um,
Yeah.
I know earlier on you were mentioning that you appreciate me having this platform and bringing you guys on. It's pretty much what it comes down to is all you guys have voices, and when you're typically people are not going to be able to hear it, but I have the capability and the knowledge to obviously set something up like this, and you guys have stories, and all these stories that you guys have they're beneficial. Yeah, unfortunately, in a lot of these stories, somebody they lose their life, and it's affected numerous families. But my way
Yeah,
thinking
absolutely.
my way thinking about it is hopefully we could put this out and it changes somebody's perspective, or changes their course down the road they're going down. And even if it's just one person, that's all that matters. Is worth it for me, because you're gonna have somebody save them from being incarcerated for possibly their whole life, or for a long time, and then another person from becoming a victim. So at the end of the day, there's one
No,
person
absolutely.
that loses their life, and
Absolutely.
they end up 6 feet deep, and then another person that's gonna be taken away from their family for the actions that they committed.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Death is forever.
Mm.
It's forever. And
It's kind of loud
it's a
back there.
sad thing, man.
What you guys having a Friday night party over there?
Oh yeah. No, I'm in the day room right now. I came out to the day room. I had to stretch my legs.
Hey, do you remember when you were in the ca-
Yes,
in LA County, and the sheriff used to say, radio that, radio.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have 60 seconds remaining.
If I start doing that, they'll probably think I'm crazy. If I start yelling radio.
Hey, because they don't use that from my understanding. They don't use that in any other county. I think that's specifically
No.
for LA County Jail.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's about to hang up. I got a minute.
Okay,
I got
yeah.
a minute. Hey.
Well, if you want, go ahead.
I'm gonna try to call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'm gonna try to call you back right now. All right.
All right. Cool. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, bro.
All right.
All right, bro. Bye.
All right. Ricky, do you wanna touch on anything right now while we wait for Gary to come back on?
Yeah, he's in the day room. You can tell how loud it is out there, right?
Yeah, super loud. Yeah, a lot of stuff is
It's a
going
place
on.
I don't go. Yeah, I like to say that's where the bums go to hang out. That's what I like to say, right?
Yeah. Well, I sent him a
Yeah.
message, and I
Yeah.
told him if he went out to day room to bring his tablet and whatnot. And as far as tablets, are the tablets, are they provided at no cost, or how does the tablet situation work?
Yeah, they're for free. They give them to you. They give them to you for free, but if you want to use the functions on them, you got to pay for the functions. So, if you want to get video visits or listen to the music or watch the movies, you got to pay money for that every month. So, although they are for free, they pay for themselves. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I want to do a video visit with my family for 15 minutes, it costs, I think, like $2, $2 and maybe a couple, like $2.15 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the movies, if you want to rent the movies for a month, they cost $2. And if you want to listen to the music for a month, It costs $5.99. So, and then they have a news and sports app which is 75 cents per month. So, and the phones are for free in California prisons for now. So, our phone calls are for free, which is cool. You could sit in your cell and call your family undisturbed, and talk to them, on your own time. And then the phones never go off. So,
Yeah, that's a pretty neat I think perk. The free prison calls definitely really nice because we've been on the phone over the last the course over the last few weeks and making numerous calls, and if these calls would have still been paid for, I would have had I'm pretty sure these pennies that they charge for these
yes.
calls now, they would have definitely been raking up. So I know I remember at one point I think it was like 25 cents a minute. I would run through $10 like
Man,
nothing.
they were killing us.
Yeah, they were definitely
They
hitting
were
us over
getting
the
us.
head. Yeah.
Our,
Strong
yeah,
arm robbery, straight up.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's
man.
definitely nice.
They're making a lot of money off phone calls, man. GTL was so.
And there still are. I mean,
Yeah.
the state is kicking them down. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, these calls are free to the families and anybody that's in custody. But the state's picking up the tab. So, as they should. Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So what?
Yeah, there's a lot of companies, right? Go ahead.
I think from what I read I read something recently where there was a competitor of GTL that was kind of trying to challenge the GTL contract, because normally when 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 uh, when the state is gonna bring in like a new provider or whatnot, normally they're supposed to like bid on it, and in this case they didn't do the bidding. They just pretty much gave it over to GTL. So this other competitor was like, filed a court, I guess like an injunction, kind of to try to stop them. But
Yep.
I think the court decided against it. They weren't gonna, put a halt to the service, but I think at some point they're gonna have to rebid and pretty much, give another competitor the opportunity to
You have
offer
60 seconds remaining.
a service over to.
So I think
Go ahead.
so. It's Viapath. I think it's Viapath challenged the contract. I think that's the provider, Viapath, because I know CDC had a contract with JPay, who had the tablets initially, and then they did some backroom deal. GTL did with CDC, and got these tablets in here, but GTL lost that court case, from my understanding, and there's supposed to be a transfer from GTL to JPay, and JPay is going to take over the contract at some point. I don't know when that's going to be, but because they had the original contract with CDC, so I think the courts told CDC they have to honor that.
Should be interesting. It's gonna suck too, because like you figure a lot of people are spending money on these tablets and whatnot, and a lot of that media, or all that media, you're not gonna be able to transfer it over to the new tablet. It's gone. It's gone, like it's gone. It's vanished. You're not gonna have access to it anymore. You're gonna have to start up a whole new library of movies, music, and whatnot. Or if you have pictures, you have all your messages from your family. I don't think any of that stuff is gonna transfer over. And if they do offer a service like that, they're probably gonna end up charging. It's not gonna be something that's gonna be free. So, always trying to nickel and dime you. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna end up happening. And right now I'm waiting for either of these gentlemen to call me back, and hopefully they do. Earlier on, I noticed I got a message on here that I was getting a video visit. Unfortunately, I was in the middle of this call, and I wasn't able to pick it up. So if I do get another message for a video visit, I'll definitely plug it in, and maybe I'll bring it in so you guys could actually see one of these individuals here. Kind of like I guess face to face, if you think about it. So. I'll probably send them a message and ask him to call me back. Um, but that's weird because I've never been able to do a video visit. So that would definitely be interesting. The only video visits I've ever done would be the ones that the state was offering once a week on Sundays through GTL, and those were free. They were for an hour. But since that time, the state has cut those visits off. I think as of July.
This call is
This
now
is
being
Global
recorded.
Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Ricky Black.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, Ricky.
Hey.
All right, so we're back on. We're still on. We're still on the live, and Gary still has not called us back. So we'll see if he's able to connect. If not, then I guess it'll just be me and you for the time being.
Okay.
But I think this is cool.
Sounds good.
Now that I figured out how to have multiple interviewees on at the same time, it adds a different dynamic to it. And in the future, if somebody, let's say, they just call me out of the blue, then I could always bring them in if the other person is game, and we could have a third perspective, even possibly a fourth one. Hopefully, the way I'm trying to set these things up. So next week, I think on Tuesday, I'm getting a new piece of equipment, and once I get that in, then I'm definitely gonna test it out and get a panel going on over here. We're gonna have the the prison equivalent of the P line, if you will.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Yeah.
bringing it back, but there's not gonna be no partying on this line. Yeah.
Man. I was looking at some of those questions that you sent.
Mhm.
I was talking to Silas about some of those questions. He was telling me when I got off work about them, and then I was supposed to get them. I was reviewing some of them already.
Oh, nice.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting topics.
Yeah, I've been. So I was recently. I sent them. Well, I don't know if I sent him a message or I talked to him about it, but one of the topics I want to tackle, and I'm not sure if you know anybody that's in this situation, but I'm sure there's individuals there that have been found suitable, or maybe they'll be going home, or they've already gone home, but they weren't born in this country, and they're looking at possibly being deported to a country they don't even remember. So if you know anybody that's in that type of situation, if you could make some type of arrangements where we could speak to each other, I want to get their perspective on their whole situation, because they're gonna parole, but they're gonna parole to a whole different world, and I don't think. I mean, I think in a situation like that, I mean, a lot of people are not ready, to go back to their communities, and then let alone if they go home and they're going back to a community they don't even recognize, or if they've never been in, or they came here at a young age, and now they're being sent back to a whole different environment. So I want to pick somebody's brain and get their perspective on what their situation is now.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of guys in here that are from Mexico that when they get found suitable, they have to be deported and go back to Mexico.
Yeah.
And I know one of my friends who came over here when he was a young kid, wind up getting his sentence. He got resentenced. Went back to court and got resentenced. And he went back to Mexico, and he hasn't lived over there since he was a kid. And man, it's very challenging because some of the he was talking to one of my friends who was still on the yard with us, and he would call and talk to him, and some of the things that he was requesting, because he went to a community where they didn't have anything, and no work or anything like that, and there was a big challenge, yeah, just for him to go over there and make a living, and he was been incarcerated for 25 years. Everything was provided for him right here, so I was like, man, that's got to be scary for somebody to experience that and go through it.
Yeah, because you got to think, they get, they just drive you across the border, drop you off there. It's not like they could give you like any documentation, like your birth certificate or any type of ID from your country of origin. And imagine that, how we talk about, coming home and opening up a bank account and then getting your driver license. Imagine going to a whole system, because things are backwards in these places, like the stuff we're accustomed to. It doesn't work like that over there. Like they really make you jump through hoops and do all type of things, to be able to either set up a bank account and get your identification, your passport and whatnot, and then not having any family over there makes it even harder. So yeah, I definitely want to speak to somebody that's in that type of situation and kind of get what their thought on is, what their expectations are, once they get back to wherever they're going.
Definitely a big challenge, because some of those communities are small communities tucked away in rural areas. So, with not we got a lot of different support over here in America in each community, and I'm thinking there's maybe not as much in Mexico.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We have a whole community to help you get on your feet, get a job, get your license, any clothing that you need, your housing's provided for you, your food, all of those things. As a lifer, we have that when we get out, and it's why we're so successful once we do get out. I know that that's not the case when you go to Mexico. There's not a lifer community there for you to get on your feet and get a job and things like that. So really sad for some of the guys that have to go through that. So definitely I'll be looking out for anybody here on this yard that are from a different country that might be found suitable, and see if we can't get them hooked up with you so they could share their stories. And I'm sure there's a lot of fears they have of getting out and having to go through that.
Yeah. My wife just got home, a little while ago, and she's been kind of like looking at me. She wants me to do some stuff around the house. But if you're available,
okay.
Either not tomorrow, but Sunday, definitely Sunday. If you have some time available, I would love to bring you back on, and we could kind of just go over whatever you have on your mind or whatever I have, and or maybe we could go over these questions that we got here, and kind of like pick your brain and check, see what you think.
So 6 o'clock is always a good time for me. So
6, okay.
Sunday at 6. All right.
Perfect. That'll definitely work, and I want to go ahead and thank everybody that's in here right now. Starting off with Ricky. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day to share with us here, and then everybody else that's in the chat.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Let me see, like El Iceman, Mad Max 408, M Star Media. Who else do we have in here? We have let me see. Oh yeah, can't forget about LA Analyst, and let me see who else.
Yes.
And all of Gary's family that tapped in. They're a huge support, and I don't want to leave anybody out, because everybody deserves to be recognized here. At the end of the day, if you guys weren't tuning in, then this channel wouldn't be going anywhere. And I think I pretty much got everybody that You know, the only people that I know that are in here are the people that post up. I know some people come in and they just want to listen, which is fine, you know. Um, oh yeah, and Grande Loco was also, you know, he put a message in here. Buenas noches a todos, and then Nunez underscore family blog. You know, he's definitely been coming in and showing support. You know, so I just want to go ahead and, you know, thank all of you. You know, taking time from your Friday nights and tuning in with us. Um, and with that, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. And if you want, I know you got a few more minutes on the phone call, so we'll go ahead and talk off of the stream, Ricky.
Okay,
All right, cool.
sounds good.
All right, you and everybody else, you guys go ahead and have a good night.